Good afternoon, everyone. Could we have those of you interested in staying in this room to return to your seats? Thank you very much. I would like to welcome you all to the closing session of the third Eastern Partnership Youth Forum. I'll have the pleasure to kick off the closing session, so to speak, by presenting the draft forum recommendations. And on this note, I should say I am the messenger, and I hope I will not be shot for performing my duty. It is my utmost pleasure to convey the draft recommendations. I faced a rather daunting task of shortening them and presenting some highlights and some extracts rather than a summary. So do forgive me if it's not a complete reflection of the discussions in your working groups, and rest assured that the full document is with us and will be fully elaborated towards the end of this process and will be included in the forum report. I would also like to thank all of you who contributed to drafting of those recommendations. I know it was a very intense process. You've spent quite a bit of time yesterday afternoon, and I imagine this is what also kept so many of you awake late at night, judging by the noise coming from the establishments surrounding the hotel. You were busy discussing all those recommendations until late at night. Judging by the reaction, this is exactly what you were doing. So thank you very much for your commitment and dedication. We truly appreciate that. And you've also spent quite a bit of time fine-tuning your discussions and finalizing key points this morning. So thank you very much for delivering all of those recommendations on time. Without further ado, I will present some highlights from the recommendations again, not a summary, on the basis of your discussions, workshop by workshop. So we had 3 workshops, each of them included 2 subgroups. So those are now merged, so we're looking at 3 groups of recommendations. And the first one is of a general character, and this was something that we picked up from a number of workshops. You wanted to reiterate the importance of the recommendations from the first and second youth forums as highly relevant to the EU, its member states, and EAP governments that need to take them into consideration in shaping the youth policy. So it's good to see continuity and appreciation for the work done by your colleagues, and I guess some of you, during the previous forums in Kaunas and in Riga in 2013 and 2015. A few highlights from the first working group, Young People as Active, Critical and Responsible Citizens. You've devoted quite a lot of time to recommendations to the policymakers, so I focused on those rather than the recommendations to youth organizations, as you are present in the room anyway, and we have an opportunity to convey the messages directly to some of our esteemed guests here. So you called on the EU and national governments, both within the EU and Eastern Partnership, to establish an inclusive policy in development and decision-making structures, co-managed by governments and youth organizations. You suggested that existing mechanisms should be reinforced and new mechanisms should be established to improve and monitor young people's access to rights. We've also called on prioritizing youth policies and projects in the allocation of EU funds, that's mostly within Eastern Partnership countries, and to better coordinate among all types of EU programs and institutions dealing with youth issues at national level. The other half of the recommendations within this group focused on volunteering, and one of the most important discussions we've had over the last 2 days was on the future of volunteering programs and the new European Solidarity Corps initiative recently announced by the European Commission. You said that the European Solidarity Corps should be open to Eastern Partnership youth and Eastern Partnership youth organizations. You also said the European Union should empower organizations sending volunteers abroad within all international voluntary programs, notably the European Solidarity Corps, in order to assure inclusion and provide support for young people with fewer opportunities. You also suggested that the European Union should develop and financially support a community of ex-international volunteers through an online alumni database. Moving on to the second workshop, that focused on young people and entrepreneurship. You suggested that the European Union should establish an international social entrepreneurship investment fund, that national governments should establish social entrepreneurship support programs for youth, that national governments should elaborate support systems for social enterprises, and national governments and the EU should jointly provide online resources for the support of entrepreneurship both in the EU and Eastern Partnership countries to take stock of existing funding, evaluate projects and assess entrepreneurship competences. You further called on the EU and national governments to introduce entrepreneurial learning as a horizontal subject in academic curricula, to promote public-private partnerships in Eastern Partnership countries to train, employ, and promote self-employment among young people, and to provide incentives for young people to set up their own enterprises and to provide support for young entrepreneurs. Moving on to the third group of recommendations, young people and education today. You looked at formal, non-formal, and informal learning. You called upon the EU and national governments to establish a structural dialogue involving relevant stakeholders at national level in order to research and review the existing national education curricula with regards to the acquisition of transversal competences. That was the focus of one of your workshops, and you've duly included this in your recommendations. Develop a concrete strategy and evidence-based capacity building programs in order to further include transversal competences in existing curricula. Moving on, you called on the EU and national governments to support the creation of synergies in the field of formal and non-formal education and to financially support a mainstream holistic education approach where formal and non-formal education actors meet and cooperate. So those were the highlights from your working groups, highlights of the forum recommendations. As I previously said, this is not a complete picture. The draft version is with us at the moment and will be incorporated in the final report that will later be published by the forum organizers. I would now like to invite two speakers that I failed to welcome at the opening of this session. This is maybe a non-orthodox approach to opening a closing session. And since we in the youth sector pride ourselves in doing things our way, I will kindly allow our guests to accept this variation on the standard theme of welcoming speakers. And I would like to welcome and invite into the stage our first speaker, Mr. Vasilis Maragos, Head of Unit for Armenia, Azerbaijan, Belarus, and Eastern Partnership, Directorate General for Neighborhood and Enlargement Negotiations at the European Commission. Mr. Maragos.
Thank you, Max. Dear friends, Minister, dear colleagues, I'm responsible for the bilateral cooperation with these countries. I'm also, together with the External Action Service and colleagues are here, working and also with our member states on the Eastern Partnership coordination. This is why we have this title. But I'm also responsible for the overall coordination of this particular sector in Brussels. Of course, we have teams in delegations. So we are working together in a very inclusive process. So this is why I'm here, and I'm very, very pleased. I would like, first of all, to pay tribute to our hosts and in particular the Polish government, the Foreign Ministry, but also to you, to all of you, because this has been an incredible opportunity, I think, to listen to your ideas, to listen to your recommendations. Of course, this is an interactive process, so you are making, I think, very, very concrete proposals. We have heard them a moment ago, but this should not be the end of the process. It should not be an ad hoc event where we have gathered, we have put together our ideas, we have sent a text, and then we meet again after 1 year or 1.5 years in order to see what has happened. I think we have now a lot of homework to do. We have our own homework, and you have your own homework. So for me, it is obvious, and I think the Commissioner made it very clear today, but also all the other speakers, that we see the youth as a driver for change, not because we are definitely and only for change. What needs to be preserved from our values, from our traditions, needs to be preserved, but I believe that every generation is coming with its own creativity and with its own view and vision about the future. So what we expect and what you are expecting, I think, is the same. We expect the youth to have a space in order to be a factor in the democracy, in the participation, both at the national level but also at the local level. And I think this came in some of the discussions. It was probably hidden in some of the recommendations. So we need really to see how we can move forward as regards all these issues which have to do with rights, with participation, with democracy, with dialogue. And here, of course, we need you, we need the national governments, we need also the EU. The EU is really very committed to this process. And I will come back to what I believe we could do a little bit more together. And then, of course, you have made very concrete recommendations as regards the entrepreneurship, as regards the link between youth and the economy. We have started, and probably you are aware of the opportunities we create with the measures for economic growth, where we have concrete actions announced for youth. In many countries, we have rural development programs where we are supporting very concrete initiatives of young farmers. Probably is not enough. We have to do more together. But also, I would like to point out that all the blending opportunities we are creating, we have already the Neighborhood Investment Facility, which is providing in particular support to the countries which have signed association agreements and DCFTA agreements. I think this is very important for the competitiveness of the economies. In our future dialogue, and I will come back to that, I believe that we have really to see to what extent all these blending opportunities and the support we are providing to small and medium-sized enterprises cover also the specificities of young entrepreneurs. This is something on which I think we need to discuss further. And then, of course, we have the vulnerable groups. I think you mentioned them already, but probably again we need to see in the specificities of each situation. There was some discussion about some of the conflict zones. Already I heard some project ideas about such conflict zones and understanding between the conflict zones. I think we need to do more on that. And we can do that together and with your support. So we have already started also to support and to foster youth leadership through the fellowships which were announced last year, and already we have a number of fellows from the civil society. But I think that we have to extend this leadership program in order to cover also the business sector and probably other areas like, for instance, the political parties. And certainly innovative youth ideas, of which I think we have heard some today in the countries. Employment strategies, and access to good education, which gives to young people opportunities for better employment, addressing the skills mismatch is essential. So in my mind, what we expect, and I think what you expect as well, is that you will be participating much more in the policies in your countries. We can help in this process, but also you want to, in the shaping of the policy, but also you want to participate in the monitoring, as I have heard, and the implementation of these policies. I believe that in this way we can make the various actions much more comprehensive and much more efficient in the various areas of policies which affect youth. So in order to move forward, I think that we have to look for very concrete ideas for the follow-up. And these ideas may be linked with the deliverables we have prepared for the summit. And I think that it is important that we receive the final recommendations to see how they could shape the declaration of the summit, but also the annexes, which will probably include some of these ideas. But I believe beyond that, what we need is in each country to have a very concrete, I would call it a youth engagement roadmap. And this is something that we have to work out together, and certainly with the governments in your countries. So this is something on which probably we can work together in order to have a more structural engagement. I think some of you already mentioned it, and I think it is an excellent idea. We should not have ad hoc meetings. We should have a very structured approach to what we want to do together. And on this topic, I think that we have to start with a very concrete dialogue that we can have in every country. The Commissioner appreciated today this citizens' dialogue he had with some of you after his speech, and I believe that this is something that we have to continue, and we will come back to you with very concrete proposals to you and to even bigger groups in your countries with very concrete proposals on how we can organize this kind of events. So I would like to stop here in order also to give the opportunity to you, if there is time after the next speaker, to come in with very concrete recommendations and ideas on how we can together follow up on what we have heard today and yesterday. So thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to the end of our discussion and the future of our dialogue. Thank you.
Dear Mr. Maragos, thank you very much for your speech and for your encouragement, and we will be taking those comments after the very last speech. So the only thing I can do is to thank again our second speaker. I appreciate it must be challenging for a diplomat to follow such a rather unusual protocol on those occasions, but I would like to invite Mr. Bartosz Cichocki, Deputy Foreign Minister of the Republic of Poland, to offer a few words at the closing of the forum.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, excellencies, guests of the Third Youth Forum. I'm happy to see so many young people from all over Europe and hopefully beyond. At the same time, I'm sorry to signal that your time in Warsaw is coming to an end, but it's hopefully only for this time, and you will come back to use what we can offer in terms of both science, policy making, but maybe also something of entertainment and spending good time. I hope that the forum was an opportunity for you not only to discuss education, entrepreneurship, civilian responsibility, and other important issues. This was first and foremost an opportunity to create direct contacts and maybe even friendship. And this is the main aim of the Eastern Partnership, to reduce barriers, physical but also psychological, and to create links and direct relations between our countries and our nations. And it works. Let us take visa-free regimes for Moldova, Georgia, and Ukraine. An example, Poland issued last year only 1.2 million visas for the citizens of Ukraine, more than half of all visas issued by European Union member states. We host 30,000 Ukrainian students on Polish universities. The same goes for those countries without visa-free regimes. I just came back from Belarus. We issue 210,000 visas to Belarus citizens a year. We would like to see more of our neighbors coming to us and other countries of the EU, and this is why I encouraged my Belarus counterparts to launch the process leading to a visa-free regime. This is beneficial to everyone. Less work for embassies, more people coming, more meetings, more friendships, better understanding. On the side of the costs, an EU visa in Belarus is 60 euros plus 16 euros if you use the visa centers channel. And it is almost half of it in Ukraine. And now it is even for free if you come for 90 days with biometrical passport. The amount of money saved is precisely what you need before summer. This 60 euros is definitely much better spent for the cinemas, museums, and famous Polish beers and other entertainments. I see you already know you already know the thing. I want to emphasize one of the key phrases of the forum, taking the future into your own hands. It should be your main takeaway from these 2 days, because that is also the goal of the Eastern Partnership, choice. Create a comfort zone of choice when we all can decide what and how we want to do, with whom we want to make friends. That is one of Poland's messages for the forthcoming Eastern Partnership Summit. Because with choice comes ownership. We will strongly support the idea of ownership of the Eastern Partnership policy, which means more responsibility, more engagement, more influence, in brief, more to say about the future of our continent by its citizens. To be responsible and engaged, you need to be conscious of the world and aware of all the challenges and difficulties of the present. It means that you have to learn and increase your knowledge and experience all the time. Education has become an imminent part of our lives. This was also one of the topics that you studied during these 2 days. The third topic of the forum, young people as active, critical, and responsible citizens, could englobe all other aspects of the forum. In order to be active, critical, and responsible, you have to take your life and your future into your own hands. I would like to wish you here all the best in shaping your own futures and the future of your countries. It is in our common interest. I would like to mention here briefly the forthcoming Eastern Partnership Summit, since one of the forum's objectives was to feed the 5th Eastern Partnership Summit Declaration. I hope that the results of those 2 days of discussions, workshops, and meetings will be reflected in the Summit Declaration. We would like to see a thriving, resilient European Union and its direct neighborhood. For this, we need stronger institutions, more efficient administration and communication reacting better to the hybrid threats of disinformation. Among Polish proposals, which would result in increasing resilience in the partner countries, is the possibility of job shadowing for civil servants from Eastern Partnership countries in the European institutions. In order to become more united, we also need better connections, physical, like transport, energy, and internet networks, and immaterial, like visa-free areas, mobility, and people-to-people contacts. Last but not least, I would like to confirm that Poland will remain an advocate of an open policy toward EU Eastern neighbors. I strongly hope that one day we shall all meet in one united Europe. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Minister. Thank you very much for your comments. Now, as already announced by our speakers, we'll now have an opportunity to take a few comments or questions. Now, I understand that my rather odd time management methods made me a few enemies in this room already. So I would like to warn that this strategy will continue. We'll have to be rather strict with timing. If you can keep your comments and your questions to the absolute minimum due to the limited time we have, and I understand we might have a few contributors. Would anybody like to either ask a question of any of our speakers or offer a short insight into ways forward after the forum? Ways forward for EU Eastern Partnership Youth Cooperation. Questions or comments? Now, all my comments about time management notwithstanding, there is an opportunity to ask questions. Okay, I understand that we've given you ample opportunity to discuss your concerns, and we've exhausted, at least temporarily, your ability to address large groups of people. Thank you very much for that then. And we will swiftly move on to the evaluation session for this forum, and I will ask my colleague Georgi to take care of that. Thank you.
Thank you, Max. Thank you for all the job you did with recommendations. It's not an easy task to sum up all those recommendations, and Max was dealing with it during the last 2 hours. And now we have very last thing for our forum is to briefly evaluate our being here these 2 days, and also to have space for last and final remarks in this auditorium. But this is not the end, because if you remember, we will have a very interesting event for this evening planned, and I will give you this technical information shortly after we will be done with the evaluation. We, of course, prepared, wait. IQ polls for evaluation. Gaika, can we have a screen? Okay, it's here. Okay, let's find. Wait, I see. Is it the correct one? Oh, yes, good. So do you remember how to use it? You might need this magic device, which all of us love so much. And poll ID is EAP3 this time, yeah? You can go to poll.si or scan the QR code. Marisha, can you enlarge the QR code? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I can help you. Right. Yeah, this one. Yeah, you either scan QR code or open in your browser this address, poll.si, and poll ID is EAP3. So we have the first question. How fruitful was participation in the working groups? Yeah, this is a 60. Don't turn, yeah, let's keep it. No, come back. Yes. Yeah. Marisha. Wait. Okay. We'll come back to the previous question. We just want to make sure that everybody had a chance to open the poll. I believe we are a bit more than 85. Yeah? Yeah, we give time. Yeah, it's the first question again. Yeah. Now we make a bit of statistics, and later on we will have opportunity to make comments. So this verbal part is also coming. I believe we can go to 110, you see? Wow, this is good. Yes. Yeah, it's going down. We have to change. Yes, that's true. Okay, so thank you, and now we can go to next question. So next question is, how satisfied are you with your contribution to the forum? Yeah. Yes, don't be modest. I think you did a great job. Maybe you voted already before. Yeah, no? There's still some people voting, so. There is suggestions that there are some hackers interfering in elections. Yes, that has happened with the US, so. Yes, I just refresh it, it should work. If not, try again to sign in. No, you should enter poll ID, which is EAP3. You might be entering the poll ID from previous ones. Grigorijan, come on. Yes, very good. Yes, it's not Russia. It's not everything Russians' fault, I tell you. Okay, so we have, I think, enough votes. We can go to the next question. So it's about learning. We would like to see if you learned anything, a lot, or nothing. Very good. We are very happy to see that majority of you have learned something. Yeah, I'm wondering, we would like to talk to those 10 people who didn't learn anything. 11. We should put them in blacklist. No party for you today. We will let you here to learn more about transversal competencies, entrepreneurship, and social change. Yes. Thank you. Okay, Marisha, let's go to next one. So we were wondering, how many partnerships did you make during the forum? To define partnership, that you met an interesting organization with whom you could potentially develop a project and cooperation for future. So that's what we mean. See, have 19 people who made more than 5, which is a very good number. Again, we have some 20 people who didn't develop any partnerships. Maybe it's facilitators. We don't want to see anybody new anymore. But still, statistic is that at least 80% of the participants made a new partnerships, which is good. And I think we have one last question, or pre-last one, if you can go. Yes, we would like to see how many times did you use our hashtags, which we used since Kaunas. Yeah? Hashtag EAP use and hashtag EAP use forum. No, Laimonas, not from Kaunas, for these last 2 days, yes. I think those of you who used it more than 30 times should get a free drink today. Very good, just to let you know, those of you who have not been in Kaunas or Riga, we use the same hashtags all the time during Eastern Partnership Youth Forums to have some kind of consistent approach, and then if at any moment you do some kind of activity in the frames of Eastern Partnership cooperation, we'll be more than happy to see that you use this hashtag EAP use, so you can easily trace back the outputs of Eastern Partnership cooperation. Yeah? Okay, and the last question, what is your overall level of satisfaction with the forum? How much did you like it? And it involves everything which was organized. Wow, Congratulations. It means the level of satisfaction is quite high. So on this note, thank you very much for taking part in online survey. And now, before I will proceed with technicalities, I would like to give space to you to make some last final remarks and comments. I will not be as strict as Max is comments, so you can talk, actually. So if you would like any of you to share with us your thoughts or comments about evaluations and hear some verbal evaluation as well, you are more than welcome. We have one microphone hidden in the back stage, so if you're sitting somewhere in the back, Shilinas will be happy to give you the mic. Or should I ask you to use a social media post for your comments too? We would like you actually to talk as well, a little bit. You talk so much in last days. Yes, that's true. No, you don't have to. It's just a space for you to express your opinion at the end. We have here, please.
Okay, I would like to thank, in the name of International Visegrad Fund, for inviting us. And I hope the meetings were interesting not only for me, but also for you. Of course, our fund is not only for young people's projects, for projects in general, but we have to start somewhere, and those are young people. So we believe that you stay with us, not only as young people, but also further on. And I want to say that the International Visegrad Fund is not something what is different from EU. We are part of EU, and it is complementary to the programs of EU. So feel free to contact me, contact us, and come with interesting projects. We'll be happy to support. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Says two hands now. Very good. Yeah, I will come to you. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, I'm from Belarus, and the most interesting thing for me was that I met a lot of interesting people from Belarus, such as it was like a networking within our organizations. And of course, I met some also let's say, useful and professional partners from you. So I hope that we will not only talk about future projects, but implement them. And I wish you all to really do something and implement all these nice things we are talking about. So.
Thank you very much. We have one more comment from here.
My name is Maria Simonova. I'm from Ukraine. It is visible. Actually, I'm almost never nervous when I speak in public, but now I'm very nervous because I have so many emotions, and I would like to share it in the best way. Every time when project or event is successful and people are satisfied and happy, there is a question: who was guilty about that? And who was the main reason to have this event and to make this event successful? Organizers, facilitators, donors. But in the end of the day, at least 50% of success is success of participants, is your energy, your soul, and your mood and your participation. And I want to thank you, participants of this event, to all of you, to our great facilitators and trainers and speakers, to make these 3 days of my life very happy.
Thank you. Cannot agree more. Our task is to give you space, and then you did a great job with using this space. There's one more hand. Yes, please.
Hello, I'm Giga Chitishvili from Georgia. At first, I want to thank you to come here, and I want to emphasize the fact that I have deepened understanding about the social entrepreneurship topic during the workshops, and also I have enhanced the relationship between Georgian representatives, and I have also established some networking between you participants, and I hope this networking space will be much more widened in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I am Anna from Spain, and it's the first time that I've attended Eastern Partnership Youth Forum or anything regarding Eastern Partnership. I didn't know it existed before I came here. So for me, the biggest learning is how much I don't know. And it was like super interesting and super humbling to know how much we don't know. And in my country, we take the European Union for granted. And to learn about your experiences and like the realities that you face in your different countries, for me was like the most humbling of all the learnings I had today. So I look forward to at least go a little bit deeper on my knowledge about what Eastern countries do and like be able to attend this kind of forums, because really, I mean, I'm from the Western of the West. Like I'm from Spain, like there's only Portugal Western to that. So I really don't know anything, and now at least I know that I don't know. So thank you all for sharing your experiences with us.
Hello, I'm Tigran from Armenia. First of all, I'd like to thank the moderators for moderating the forum as well as possible.
Very good, Tigran, big plus for you.
This forum was interesting because, for example, 6 years ago when we were participating in Eastern Mobility Conference and the forum which take place today, we met new people with new enthusiasm, and it's interesting to cooperate also with the new generation. The experience plus enthusiasm is a very good cooperation, I consider. This is the plus of this forum. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tigran.
Hello everyone, I'm Elvira from Croatia. Well, I can tell you that when I was a kid, I always, like at least when I was growing up in Croatia, I thought that the future is in Western countries. And then as I was growing and traveling, meeting people, and once I found out about Erasmus+, I discovered so many countries in Europe, which basically I also realized that future is not only in the West, future is also in the East. So thank you for this. Actually, Erasmus is something amazing. It allowed me to develop myself, to gain all these skills we talked about in my workshop. So guys, thank you very much. And I'm really impressed to learn from all of you, especially from these Eastern Partnership countries. And you really have great potential. Just keep doing like this. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So I think that was it. Oh, okay, 2 more hands, and maybe it's last 2 comments we take. Yeah. Okay, 3. Last 3. Good.
Hello, thank you very much for the opportunity to be here. My name is Georgi Michev from Bulgaria. Thanks to all the team that done this great event, and to all participants. We had a really fruitful discussions. I met new friends, new partners from Eastern Partnership countries, and I hope to have more and more opportunities for exchanging good practices between European countries and Eastern Partnership ones, because there are lots of forums on a European level for the European countries. We're missing exchanging of best practices with our fellow colleagues from the Eastern Partnership countries. I'm looking forward for more meetings.
Thank you, Georgi.
Hello, Aytan from Azerbaijan. I would like to say, first of all, thanks to all organizers, facilitators, and others. And I think that it was a very great platform for young people, and I really hope that the decisions and the discussion, the papers that not stayed on the paper and will implemented. Thank you very much again.
And one last comment.
Hello, I'm Tomas, and I'm from Poland. I represent Polish Council of Youth Organization, and I look in this room, and I would like to thank you, all over our guests, that you came to our country and create such a great event. Without you, participants, without organization, without dialogue with decision maker, this event is worth nothing. Only thanks to your presence and your work during the all 3 days, this event could be the real change in our mindsets, in our decision progress. So that's all. Thank you very much, and see you later in Europe.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Actually, many of you mentioned moderators and facilitators. Are you? Yeah, very short one, yes. It's supposed to be on, yeah. Yes.
All right, so at the beginning we had like the questionnaire and there was one option to choose like, I don't know what I'm doing here, right? Yeah, so me, when I was applying here, I was 17 years old and I was just like, all right, I can try. And I even didn't realize how I get there. Now, when I came here and I realized that there are just so many inspirational people and I've never been in such a group of people, like young and initiative and like really like the change in the world. And then I started to talk to the people and I realized that there are so many stories that should be like implemented more and more, and about how was the strength of the people, was the necessity of this kind of people in social groups, and about how big the change can be if we will like cooperate together and do something for this world to make it better. So I would like to thank like all of you, because you are like the most inspiring people I've ever met probably in my life. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for all of your comments. Many of you mentioned moderators, facilitators, you mentioned yourself. Of course, we all did great job, and you all know each other. You all know me, Max, Marisha, and our group of 12 facilitators who was working hard on it, but you might not know a huge amount of people who've been organizing all this beautifully here, and I have to tell you, it was tremendous amount of work which was done by our Polish hosts, yeah, from the different ministries, from Foundation for the Development of the Educational System, Ministry of National Education, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, European Commission, and you don't see these people on the stage, yeah? And I would like to thank them especially, still doing a great work to make our stay memorable in Warsaw and to make our life easy and comfortable. So thank you, and I would like to maybe give an applause. Yeah. Thank you. Good. So the very last thing is to do. If you remember, we have a very good party organized for this evening. And logistics will be organized similar like yesterday. So there will be 2 buses coming. I mean, two shifts of buses. First is on 7:30, first group. And then another buses will come at 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. Yeah? Carolina, correct? Very good. So please be ready. Dress code is casual. We don't want to see ties and shirts, so bring everything casual you have. Indoor, and then as far as I heard, we will have DJ, and it's gonna be a, yeah, I see you like it. Very good. So please be ready. So 7:30 and 8 p.m. Wait, Viorica, wait. There's 2 more announcements. We also got printed the list of participants with all the details. So if you'd like to have the list, of course we will send it as well later by email, but still if you'd like to have hard copy, you can pick it up at the reception. Yeah, so reception at the entrance of the hotel, you can pick it up. And very last thing is we also thought it's gonna be a good idea to, actually some of you thought and reminded us about it, to have a group photo. Yeah, very good. So I would like actually to ask our photographer, where is better, here or outside in a press banner? Let's try here, yeah? So that was all. Now let's take a group photo and we will be free until 7:30 and 8 p.m. Thank you. So let's take space on the stage. Maybe we have to. Can you help to take it off? Yes. Too many. Bravo, nice.
Можете лечь. Я не знаю, я не буду мешать.
Давай, эмоции тоже.
Где фотограф? Ладно, окей. Включается, окей.
Unfortunately, I would like to remove them, but there are so many of them that I'm not sure if you can manage to do this.
Камера, да? Окей. Якось можемо фотографувати?
Okay, Georgi, take your seat somewhere. Tamara, Arturjan, come on. This is great.
Can you help me with taking the first two rows of the chairs?
Okay. Maybe Artur, Laimonas, Mariska, can you help us to take it off? Yeah. We have to take off.
You have to take each one